And then come down onto your backs. We'll do a couple back bends, and then if someone wants to take over the can, otherwise I can just wrap it.
Go wrap it.
Okay, so we'll move through some back bends, some twists, and then we'll wrap it. So we'll bring the feet in towards your seat as close as you can get them, and should be at hip width distance apart. And then take your arms and press the arms down into the mat. So, sorry, bend your elbows. That's the cue, bend your elbows and press the arms down into the mat as you are doing. And from here, begin to press with the heels and lift your pelvis up towards the ceiling. Or toward the sky. On the next exhale, lower back down to the mat. Bring the feet to the edges of your mat and let the knees fall in toward each other. The feet will rest on each other, and then you can place one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. And then open up your knees. We'll bring the feet back to hip width distance and walk them closer to your seat. A couple of options here. You can start by grasping your ankles if you'd like, or you can just have the hands resting close to your heels on the mat. We'll press the heels down and lift the pelvis up. Lift the sacrum off the mat enough to slide your hands underneath, and then we'll interlace the hands together behind your back. So a nice tight interlace here. Press the palms of the hands together as close as you can get them, and then press the forearms down into the mat as you press with the heels and lift the pelvis up. Keep your chin tucked in so the neck stays long. On the next exhale, we'll lower back down to the mat. Unclasp the hands, let them come to rest. Walk the feet to the outside edges of the mat and let the knees fall into rest against each other. And then we'll bring the knees apart. We'll take the feet together and draw both knees into your chest. Reach the hands forward, and if you can, wrap the middle and index fingers around the insides of your big toes. You could also wrap around the outside edges of your feet if you'd like, or across your shins. We're going to inhale to lift the legs toward the ceiling, so we're straightening them up, and then exhale, bend the knees, thighs back to your chest. Inhale, straighten the legs, lift them up. Exhale, lower down, thighs to chest. Knees as close together as you can get them. Lift the feet up. And exhale, thighs to chest. Inhale, straighten the legs, lift. Exhale, thighs to chest. We'll do two more. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, thighs to chest. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, thighs to chest. And then release the grip on your toes or feet. We'll grasp the shins and draw the knees apart now toward their respective armpits. So we're coming into a sort of half happy baby pose. You're welcome to stay in half happy baby. If you want, you can take the full version, grasping the outside edges of your feet and then lifting them up toward the sky and drawing the knees down toward the floor. If you're in we're all in the full version of happy baby, so we can gently rock from side to side and try to connect more and more of our sacrum with the mat as we do so. And then come into center and stillness. We'll release the feet and lower the feet down to rest on the mat. We'll bring the feet and the knees together. We'll come into a reclined twist from here, so you can extend the arms out by your sides or just the elbows if you like. We'll lift the hips up, shift them to the left side of the mat, and then lower the knees down to the right. keep your left shoulder blade grounded down. But if it's comfortable for your neck, you could turn the head over your left shoulder. Inhale, draw the knees back up to center. Shift the hips to the right side of the mat this time and lower the knees down to the left. Keep the right shoulder blade grounded down. Left arm can be extended out or it can rest on your right thigh. Inhale, draw the knees back up to center. Recenter your hips on the mat, and then extend the legs forward to come to rest. Bring the arms to a position where they're comfortable. Make some space between your arms and your body and between your legs. And we'll do 3 rounds of following your breath to start. Inhale through the nose, and sigh it out. Inhale through your nose, and sigh it out. One more time, inhale, and let it go. Let your body be heavy and comfortable on your back. Stretch your arms behind you. Stretch the right arm and right leg together. Left arm and left leg. Both arms and legs at the same time. And then let your body relax. Draw the knees into your chest. And wrap your arms around your shins. Rock gently from side to side, massaging your lower back. When you're ready, make your way back up to a comfortable seated position. Thank you for practicing with me today. Thank you for letting me guide you a little bit.
I feel stoned.
I know, I feel euphoric too.
Oh my God, I forgot.
Me too. I really missed yoga.
I forgot what it felt like to just surrender.
Yeah.
Like, because even when I'm home and I'm doing a practice on Zoom, you know, I'm busy fiddling, or I've got like the washing machine going or a text going.
Just totally absorb yourself.
Oh, this was so beautiful, Josh.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that you were giving.
Well, my pleasure. I mean, I love to do this. I just didn't want to be like kind of like the one being like, oh, like I wanted to do it, but we're all teachers, so I mean anyone could do it.
Oh man, like
yeah, that was
no, that was Amazing. Amazing. And the other thing is that when I do a practice on my own, I never do Shavasana.
Oh, okay.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
When you do a practice on your
Because
own?
I usually practice Ashtanga, and that one, if you don't do Shavasana and Ashtanga, you're going to mess your body up, in my opinion. Yeah. Like, you really need to, so yeah, I definitely do.
Do you do it when you do a practice on your own?
So I've been doing very little practices on my own, but I'd say no.
Yeah,
I don't.
exactly.
Because if I'm going to go to bed and I need some stretches, I'll just do some forward folds and maybe some hip flexor, and so very specific things. I don't end up in Shavasana.
Right. So this is my first Shavasana,
Yeah,
like since March.
and especially when Josh opened it up with that. What do you call it? Where you're focusing on different parts of your body.
Oh,
Like,
it's
the
kind of
body,
guided.
the,
I forget what it is.
Is it like Nidra?
I guess it's like,
no, it's
Nidra, you don't move.
it's a body
Body scan.
Body scan. Thank
Yeah.
you. I was gonna say body
I like
trance,
that
a body
to
scan.
start.
Yeah,
That was really cool.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
usually that's done at the very end, but at the beginning it really gave an awareness.
I felt like we were sort of in our heads. We were all in our heads at the beginning of the practice, so it was good to just ground in our bodies
Yeah.
first. And then
That was awesome, Josh.
It really
You must have
was.
been
My
proud.
God, like
that felt so good, guys. I am honored that I
Yeah.
got to lead the first one with us. And,
Yeah.
I'd love to continue this.
Sure. Unless you can lead the next one, I'll do the third one.
And you always remind me whenever I do one of your flows. You always remind me that we don't have to do balancing. We don't have to do Warrior 1, Warrior 2, Warrior 3. Like it doesn't have to be.
There's so many, isn't there? Like that made me aware too. There's so many you can do.
Yeah.
But we did Warrior 1, and then the sun salutation, the half version.
I always try to include like 3 things. I got this from Amy Weintraub. She says I guess it's 6 things. So she says the spine bend sigways. So you have forward bends, back bends, side bends, on both sides, and twists on both sides. So I always try to include those 3 things in every sequence somehow.
Right.
Yeah,
Generally my criteria.
Right. I also like the way you cue Warrior 1. So from, I think it's from a plank, no, from a downward dog, and then swivel. What word did you use?
Pivot.
Pivot.
Yeah.
Pivot your
'Cause
heel down.
Yeah, pivot and turn 45 degrees.
Yeah. That's actually, I like that cue.
I do
Pivot.
that
It's
one.
simple.
I think I got it from Marcus Sanchez.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, some instructors use a lot of words to cue, and I think it's more difficult to cue with less words.
Yeah.
And you're very good at cueing with few words.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Thanks. I tried to work on that because the ones that do a lot kind of annoy me. Because I find they pulled me out of my body and into my head because there's a lot of language.
Yeah.
So
Right, we were
try to
just
keep
talking
it-
about that. Yeah. But it's a real skill to be able to cue well.
With the briefest but effective.
Right.
I
Yeah.
tend to talk too much too. I think but then okay. Then Josh is like subconsciously aware that we are yoga teachers, right? Too, so we don't maybe need the total cue package.
Yeah,
Like,
but
That's kind of my standard cues.
yeah,
which are-
exactly. I've
Okay.
taken your classes,
Okay.
and yeah, they are.
Okay.
And
But you can move through postures more quickly that way too. You don't hold anything terribly long.
Yeah. I just wanted to kind of flow through a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff.
it was a good flow. It was a good flow without.
oh, it's perfect. Oh my God, it was so perfect.
That was so beautiful. I'm like, I didn't expect to be teaching yoga today live.
Thank you. And I was thinking, oh my God, I feel so bad. I feel like we used you.
Well,
No. Like,
we'll
this
do
is-
it
We
again.
lured you in here.
This is part of my purpose. I feel like this is part of my purpose is to teach yoga right now.
Yeah, listen, that's good. We're helping Josh.
Part of my,
Right,
part of
we're
my
helping
life path.
Josh.
We're helping him with his mission.
Right.
His
Right.
raison d'etre.
And then we're feeding him.
I mean, it's one of them.
Yeah, we're gonna give him some good food.
Good
I'm not like
Good cheese.
the yoga, like the BL. Like yoga is not like the. It's a big part of my life,
Oh yeah.
but it's not like the like. But yeah, it's a big part. So yeah, thank you. That's
What is the
Okay.
biggest part of your life?
Well, I think music and I think just healing with different stuff. So I think like the sound I can use, like it's kind of like healing our
stuff, whether it's through touch, like massage, or like the Rouhani stuff, or like sound, like music and sound healing, or the yoga, which is, I consider it sacred movements, or like healing movement, or
Right.
conscious movement.
I just started a book. It's a memoir.
Oh,
Did I tell you about
well, you
this?
told me briefly when Carla's in it. Is that the book where you're doing a? Oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. So it's something
No.
different beside that.
No, I am reading a book.
Oh, you didn't tell me. Sorry, Liz.
No, because I was thinking, really? I just started this book. I
I
don't remember telling you about this. So, it is a memoir of this woman who became completely cultivized
Yeah.
by Yogi Bhaji, who's the Kundalini guy. He's the guy that brought Kundalini into North America,
Yeah.
and how he really used her and sexually and
Oh.
emotionally abused her, and financially, and just how she got completely intoxicated by him,
Yeah.
and just basically became his slave, his sexual slave. And anyway, and it takes place like in the 1960s, 1970s.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just started. It's really good. It's really interesting.
What's it called?
Uh,
I'd love to read that sometime.
I'll show it to you.
Yoga scandal stuff.
Yeah, I'll show it to you. Because I'm Yogi Bhaji, some memoirs of like my life with Yogi Bhaji or something. I'll show it to you. Yeah.
So Liz, when you said I've started this book, I thought the book that's a work in progress where you're interviewing
Yes.
strong women
yes,
and getting a photo shoot
Yes.
with them.
Yes.
How's that
yes.
coming?
So that's
That's what I
pivoted a little bit.
Yeah.
It's pivoted a little bit. I think I'm sort of changing the theme a little bit, and I'm going to make it not so much, one woman and here's her story told by her based on my questions.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I'm going to do, because I'm having a hard time extracting the answers to my questions, and I don't want to harass people because I feel that they're such personal questions that I feel it's invasive.
If they don't want to open up, eh?
Well, I mean, a lot of the women initially said, "Great idea! I'd love to. Absolutely. Thank you for the questions. I'm going to take my time and answer them." And I followed up a couple months later saying, just to let you know, there's like a soft deadline of April 1st, which
Yes,
passed.
pass.
And I said, with COVID, I know it's a little bit,
But
here's my next deadline. I'm not getting enough. I think I've received maybe 6 completions,
mhm.
and I don't want to harass these women because it is so personal, and maybe as they're starting to write, they're like, I don't want my kids to see this, or this is really personal, and it's not really authentic if I write just like a little bit of it. So
Yeah.
I think I'm going to pivot, and my sort of new direction is posting some really great pictures that I've taken of people, because my niche has been like real close-ups,
Mhm.
and during COVID I have gone out almost every single day and taken pictures of like random people and really interesting people, and I always ask their permission, and upon asking their permission I get a little bit of their story. And when it's just a snippet of a story, it's even more interesting. So I think I'm going to do like 2 photos per page with a little snippet. Like, for example, I'm just going to give you an example of like something so interesting. This really like interesting looking guy on a bike and like the bike had like Batman on it, and like he was wearing like really interesting like Harley Davidson stuff.
Oh boy.
And he was with this woman who just didn't match him. Like, this woman was blonde and like glamorous and beautiful, and she was wearing pink, and she just didn't match him. And like, anyway, she was standing next to him, and I said, "How did you guys meet?"
Great.
and he said, really interesting. I was riding my bike down Dow's Lake or something, and I saw this woman sunbathing, and I did a double take, and I thought, oh my God, she's gorgeous, but I just kept going downtown. And then coming back, like 2 hours later, I biked back, and she's still there. So I stopped, and I started talking to her, and then I asked her out, and she said to him, "You're not my type." And like she clearly is not his type. Like she's glamorous, and he's like like he's got this beard. He's a biker. Like he's just a biker. I don't know. He just has this weird look.
Wow.
Anyway, they've been together a year. So like that's like a snippet of like a little story. Like she wasn't his type, and she said, "You're not my type," and she clearly doesn't look his type. But they've been together for a year now, which is like such a cool little story. And then like, I don't know. I just I mean I have all these little stories. That happens to be a little bit of a longer one, but I have all these little stories. Like
now, Liz, just going to that story, did you photo both of them or just him?
I photographed them together.
Okay, together. And now, would you have to get their permission to publish their image in your book? Or with their snippet?
So I always ask, can I take your picture?
Yeah.
And then after I take their picture, I always say, are you okay with me posting on Facebook or Instagram? And they verbally say yes.
Okay.
That's all I need.
Right. And if that's yes, because anybody can download images from those two.
Exactly. That's all I need. Like if they, and legally, anybody on the street is free to be photographable.